Welcome to Conversations Different, a podcast from the Santa Fe New Mexican about the interesting people, places, and issues of northern New Mexico. This is Inez Russell Gomez, and today we have an explosive show. And that's kind of a joke. Nothing's going to explode, but I am talking to Nicolas Flores, who is going to help set off the fireworks for the 4th of July celebration. And I wanted to find out how this born and raised Santa Fean became involved in such an exciting profession. Welcome, Nicolas.
Hello, everyone. My name is Nicolas Flores, Santa Fe local, born and raised here. And there's a few things that got me involved in fireworks. But I first want to say thank you to Kiwanis International for always supporting us, for a lot of our events here in town, for bringing us to Zobra, for supporting us and helping fund our 4th of July celebrations that are really special to this city. So one of the things that really got me started with fireworks is, just being a kid, no matter where you are in the world, being a kid, seeing fireworks is very exciting. There's something you look forward to. And
Yes.
I started getting involved in Kiwanis International as a volunteer for Zozobra, and helped with construction, helped with a lot of logistical issues, or not issues, just like logistics, for that event, because there's so many moving parts. Ray Sandoval has been a huge inspiration to me. Love that man, talk to him all the time, work with him. Sometimes he doesn't want to have my emails, but here we are. Anyway, I started helping out, and, just having a little bit more proximity to fireworks sparked my interest in it. Like knowing that, like, wow, people do this, sometimes like when you, for example, you see like a music festival, it's like, you don't think about the people that make the stage or the people that set off the fireworks. You're just in awe.
Right.
And that's one of the things that like really got me started. And then I graduated from college. I had helped out as an assistant with my brother, Matthew Flores, who couldn't be here today. And I graduated college in 2014, and I called him and asked him, and I was like, hey man, like, do you want to get certified and make this a real thing? And he said, yeah, sure. And so that winter we went and got certified through the Pyrotechnic Guild International, which at the time was like the gold standard for safety training, because that's what it's really all about. It's like how to do it's important, but how to do it correctly and safely is the most important.
Let's go back to the beginning. Kiwanis, of course, didn't always do the fireworks, did they? They helped start doing it. So were you involved in the 4th of July celebration from the beginning of Kiwanis taking it over? And obviously the Burning of Zozobra has its own fireworks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wasn't there for the beginning of fireworks. 4th of July with Kiwanis, I don't actually even know when they took it over. Yeah, that is an interesting question. I started doing fireworks as an assistant for Kiwanis. This was 2016. So I've been doing it 8 years.
Okay. And obviously I didn't know fireworks setter offers had to be certified. Makes sense. One of our favorite family stories is the year the Las Vegas, New Mexico fireworks all exploded on Story Lake because the city had gotten a good deal. And like half of my cousins were there when it exploded, and that turned out not to be a good thing. And my poor Uncle Max, they all had to get in the water so they wouldn't blow up. So safety is huge. So your assistant, and then did you get trained along the way? Is that how it worked?
Yeah, so I was trained for the initial training certification, and then we got involved with Western Enterprises, my brother and I, and and then we were trained by God, I can't remember his last name. His name's Tracy, and he was the lead pyrotechnic for Santa Fe County for many, many years, much before I started. And he would train my brother and I. We were assistants on his shows, and he passed away in, I think, 2022.
Dear. Okay.
And because my brother and I were the most trained, we became the lead pyrotechnics for
Wow.
Santa Fe shows.
That the training, you go somewhere and learn about fireworks, what does it involve?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I haven't taken one of those. I haven't taken Pyrotechnic Guild International's trainings in over 10 years because that was my first training. And those are set up regionally. So I went up to Loveland, Colorado. Matthew and I drove in February in
Oh,
4 feet of snow to go set off fireworks and like just learn. It was a 3 day, it was a 2.5 day course. And you go in, they give you a book, they go through all the slides, you have your study, and then you take your certification exam. And then you do um, your practical set there as well.
oh, wow.
Now, since I'm an employee of Western Enterprises, the gold standard has become APA, which is American Pyrotechnic Association. So I do those trainings every year, and a lot of those are online. And then, of course, Western Enterprises does training segments in person a couple times a year. So I've just been training with the company. I have, the first training's the one that really kind of just gets you into the realm.
Okay. So basically, you get to have a job that involves setting off fireworks and other whatever else they want you to do.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, this is like a dream come true. For because little boys and little girls both like to see things light up. They just do. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it is a dream, and I think a lot for young boys, young girls to be involved in an event like that. And I think, as we all know, going to fireworks stands here in New Mexico and anywhere is they are expensive. So
Yes.
I get the privilege to paint the sky for a few nights a year, and it's really special. And this is something that I tell a lot of people is I when I do a fireworks show, and we're where there's a lot of logistics. There's people with there's firefighters, there's state police on the borders, there's people with fire extinguishers, there's my crew with hard hacks. I mean, it's kind of chaotic a little bit, not in the sense of just like chaos. It's just like a lot going on in one moment.
Right.
So I don't really get to see a fireworks show. I'm just there to do the timing, make sure it looks beautiful. And so when I get to see a fireworks show, whether it's at the Isotopes or Disney World, like it will make me cry. It's so
Mhm.
beautiful.
Yeah. And you know what has gone into making it, come off flawlessly.
So maybe it is part of like the sweat and tears, like, oh, there's people back there that are like really going through it, not like going through it, but it's hard work. It's
Yeah.
not easy. Like for example, for 4th of July, we'll set up for 2 full days, and then all the logistics that go into getting the truck, packing your truck correctly according to DOT and ATF regulations, working with the fire department, state police, city police, all the other regulations and permitting. Like that segment of 15 minutes, which is how long that show will be, um, takes me, and then I have to unload it. I have to break it down and unload it and take it back to storage. Um, like it's around like a 9 day process. It's a lot, so it's hard. And
Yeah.
I trust me, I will be very sunburned.
All right. On that note, we'll take a quick break and be back in a moment with more conversations different.
Positive energy solar for a cleaner, brighter future for all. Positive energy's the right call. Feel good about your energy bill. Help save the planet too. Your trusted solar company, working hard for you. Generate positive energy. Positive energy solar.
We are back with Conversations Different, talking to Nicolas Flores, who has found a way to take something he loves and turn it into at least a part-time gig. So we were talking during the break, and by day you're a massage therapist, and you will be taking your acupuncture test to be a certified acupuncturist in the state of New Mexico in a few weeks. So you're going to be getting ready for fireworks, acupuncture. You are going to be one busy man.
Yeah, I sure am. And thanks for, when, as you just said that, I was like, wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love what I do, massage therapist. I have my next board exam for biomedicine of acupuncture in 3 weeks from today. And so I'm very excited. And I love what I do. I really, really do. But sometimes the routine can get not necessarily boring. It just weighs hard on you. It's kind of like when you need a vacation, and
Yep.
fireworks for me can be a vacation. Like I get to take time off work to go do fireworks, and yeah, it's like I'm almost on vacation.
That's right. And when you think about it, what you do in healing the body, but fireworks are good for the soul. Now,
Mhm.
we have to point out that for dogs and for veterans, for a lot of people, the noise is a problem. And I hope that we get noiseless fireworks, in Santa Fe, fairly soon, or whatever the equivalent of that is. Um, and I'm thinking about the role a professional show plays because of the fire danger. Because what you're doing is way less risky in terms of causing a fire than me going out with my sparklers and throwing them in the bush or something. Not that I
Yeah,
do that. Yeah,
yeah, not that you do that,
that's
exactly.
right.
But no, I mean, and it definitely like comes down to training,
Yes.
and then of course, and a lot of people ask me, they're like, "Well, aren't you worried? Like you're in New Mexico setting off fireworks," and I'm like, I'm not worried. Like I work with the fire department of Santa Fe, which is our AHJ, which is authority that has jurisdiction. Like they make the calls.
Right.
And in terms of like wind and safety, like they're the ones who control us or kind of help us make a good and safe show. And when I set off a fireworks show, I know that there's 5 fire trucks and all these other amazing resources that are there, plus my own mitigation tools like on site. So it's definitely safer, but that is one of the problems that you'd mentioned is how fireworks are for veterans and children and animals. And it is a big problem because everyone everywhere in the United States is going to hear illegal fireworks all night long,
Yes.
and I'm not saying that that's right at all, it just needs to be like more controlled. And so it's hard to control people like doing illegal stuff like that when they just go out into their yard, hit one, and then go inside and run.
Yeah.
So it's hard for like the police officers to control, I think, a little bit, just because there's such a huge volume of it. But we found in research that when you don't hold a municipal fireworks show or a regional fireworks show, people go out and buy more fireworks,
Yep.
which causes more issues with house fires and destruction of property.
Yeah. No, I think that's true. And I think in New Mexico, we need to make it easier to ban the sale of fireworks when we're in a drought. And it's a way too complicated process because of good lobbying by the fireworks industry. But I'm happy that when you have a show in the sky, it can divert attention, and maybe people will do that instead of just setting them off at their house.
I think so too.
Yeah.
And I hope that, yeah, I hope that there is a little bit more regulation, like, during this time of year, like these upcoming weeks to 4th of July. Like I just saw on the news yesterday that a fireworks stand blew up in Oklahoma
Ooh.
and like blew up, and
Yeah.
so I don't know if anyone was injured. I didn't really read the details of the articles, and I had just seen it when it had come up. But it's people get injured every year. Houses are on fire every year. It's kind of like people putting like deep fryers in their kitchens during Thanksgiving. It's like, well, we don't do that. So
Yeah. No, that's smart. And I think, one of the things I was just for some reason remembering something you said in the first segment. I think, when you see the Kiwanis and you see the volunteer work they do, I don't know how many people realize that by starting volunteering when you're younger, you might find a professional path. Maybe some of your fellow kids that you grew up with are organizing events for a living or finding out how to do publicity. It's a really interesting way to see what's possible in the world.
I completely agree. And I think getting involved when you're a kid, in volunteering, well, for one, it's going to open doors for you. Networking is key in building any professional career. But I've known, like, for example, Jacob Romero. He's been building Zozobra ever since he was a kid, and now being so involved in it. Ray
Mhm.
Sandoval, another one that was so involved for so long. And imagine, like, and I'm one example of a Zozobra lover who helped out and made this a thing.
Yeah.
My brother's another one. And there's people in stage and lighting. There's now people on the police force, security, vending. It's really special to see that and where it can take you. So I always encourage people to, and especially young people, is take the chance.
Yeah.
Spend a summer, learning from someone else. And that was one of the things that my education at Monte del Sol Charter School really helped with.
Mhm.
Is, I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but they have what they call a mentorship program. And so you go out, every student goes out into the community and learns from a professional, whether it's an artist or an architect, or, like I did glass blowing through
Oh,
Jackalope one year. And you just learn through that person. And I think we all, like, young people, just need to, like, know that there's something outside of the house. Know there's
yes.
something beyond the screen, and just to go have fun.
No, that's right. And for a time, you and your brother did Spanish market too, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
My brother's still a Spanish market artist.
That's right.
Um,
I
I,
got a
I
piece when he was young. I'm waiting for them to go up in value.
Oh, 100%. Of course they will. He'll be in the Smithsonian one day.
That's
Well,
right.
because yeah, Matthew's a legacy, and I'm glad
Yeah.
that he's still doing Spanish market. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But just in community involvement has made my life so special here in Santa Fe. A lot of people, go to Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, and they don't want to see people. Like, I get to go and see everyone,
Yeah.
see my family and my community. So it's fun. It's wonderful.
I like that. All right. On that note, we'll take a quick break and be back in a moment with more Conversations Different.
This is Patrick Dorsey, publisher of the Santa Fe New Mexican. Looking to reach a wider audience and grow your business? For 175 years, the Santa Fe New Mexican has been the trusted voice of Santa Fe, with unmatched local reach in print and online. In addition to our long-standing, independent, family-owned newspaper, we have a full-fledged marketing team with the expertise to help you succeed in the 21st century. From traditional print to precision-targeted digital advertising, we have the tools to connect you with your ideal customers. Partner with us and see the results for yourself. Advertise with the Santa Fe New Mexican and unlock your business's full potential. Visit us at santafenewmexican.com/advertising or call us at 505-995-3852. Thank you.
We are back with Nicolas Flores talking about the 4th of July celebration, which for the first time in Santa Fe will be at Franklin Miles Park, right smack dab in the middle of the house and 2 blocks from my house. So I'm very excited because I can see it from my front yard. What is going to be different about this location versus setting it off at the mall, which is how it had been for the last almost decade, I think?
Yeah, I think it has been at the mall for that long. And so I'm actually really excited. I know any shift, especially of an event, is a big change, and so it's going to take some adjusting for people. I am actually really excited for Franklin Miles Park because I think, well, there's grass. That's nice. And I think the stage area is going to be even better. There's going to be more food trucks that are going to be lined up kind of like near the basketball courts. And then like the north area of uh, of the park, the North Diamonds are going to all be activities and stages. The biggest difference is that there's not a bunch of parking spaces right adjacent to the firework area, so people aren't going to be able to tailgate. There's definitely parking. There's actually more parking than there is at the Santa Fe Place Mall, like at the state buildings and like Planet Fitness and the old College of Santa Fe and Midtown, like that area. So
Because they're going to use the high school, I think, and Milagro.
yeah, absolutely. So they're going to use those as well. And so like those will be like good parking areas so you can tailgate there. And if you want to, this Santa Fe Transportation is going to be utilizing, I think, like 5 or 6 buses from those different locations
Right.
and busing people into the park. And I it just kind of feels like a bigger municipality, like a bigger city kind of event when they do that kind of stuff.
No, that's true.
Um,
And if you want, you can walk, but I think most people will probably take the shuttle, and that's going to be a really easy back and forth, and you won't have to get in long lines until you're leaving the parking lot, perhaps, but maybe everyone won't leave at once. So that'll be nice.
yeah, well, and I think at the Santa Fe Place Mall, I mean, there's like one, two, three. Yeah, there's 3 entrances to that giant parking lot. With this, since they're gonna kind of be cluttered
Yes.
at different parking spaces, I think the traffic's gonna actually flow better. I think there's more like infrastructure in that area, so first responders can get through, people can get through. We have more access to the hospital. I think it's just going to be a safer event.
Yeah. I know that they had a really good neighborhood meeting that I attended as a person who lives by the park, as opposed to, as a person from the New Mexican. And I feel like with the streets being closed and the blocking of certain streets, we're not going to have too many people like flooding our neighborhood either. And that will be nice. And it's going to be right in the middle of town. So I think more people can see it from their homes, even if they don't feel like going to the park.
Hmm.
Yep. How
Yeah,
do you,
I
oh,
definitely think so. I think it was still really good at the mall.
yes.
And it's going to be a transition for me as well,
Okay.
because I've shot that show at the mall for 8 years.
Mhm.
Um, so it's going to be a shift, but it's going to be okay. And I think it is going to be, it's a little bit flatter, I think, in terms of geography.
Okay.
Um, so I think people will be able to see it from like their neighborhoods in the area.
And you're gonna be launching from the Nava parking lot, is that what I remember? Or where will you be launching from? The
No,
baseball field?
so the uh the direct shoot site is
Mhm.
at the southernmost baseball diamond.
Okay, that's right,
And there's going to be fencing and security around there for
right,
3 days previous. And then of course, all throughout the show,
that's right.
but there's a lot more fencing um, than the other event, which is really
Okay.
nice. Makes me feel better.
That's secure.
Um, and yeah, I think it's going to be a really good event.
And drones are going to be at the Nava parking lot. I think that's right.
Yeah, the drones are going to be there, and then
Yep.
yeah, that's where their liftoff
Yep.
site will be, and then they'll
Do their thing.
do their beautiful thing.
Now, when you're planning a fireworks show, how much do you get to say, like, who designs it? Do you buy it in a package? Like, this is the 15-minute special ending with red, white, and blue, or how does that work? How do you make the magic happen? Not the shooting up, but the art of it.
Yeah, so I actually am not involved in the
Okay.
artistry of the shows. That is all done by Western Enterprises. They have different departments of people that make that magic,
Okay.
and that get fireworks from China, design the shows. They have their whole and mix it with music. But yeah, my job is to set up, shoot, and tear down, and make sure everyone's safe.
Okay, that's an important job, essential. I just didn't know, like, if there was like one person does one thing, one person does another, or if people had a say in that part of it. Who buys? Does, like, Ray see a slideshow and the other Kiwanis directors and say, okay, this is what we want? How do you choose what we get in Santa Fe?
That I'm actually not sure of.
Okay,
I try and stay like away from.
you do your
Uh,
thing.
I just do my thing.
Yep.
But I know that Ray Sandoval and Western Enterprises are in communication with how big the show, how big the show they want, how long they want it, what kind of music they want it, what kind of budget they have, and Ray does the same thing with the. I think Western Sky is the drone company, I believe.
Okay.
So that's yeah. I'm just a worker bee.
That's good. No, that's important because it all has to come together. And I know I'm always, what I love is when you get to the end of a fireworks show, you keep looking and say, is that the end? Is that the end? And then finally, it's so spectacular, you're at the end. And I love how they build that up.
Yeah, and that's kind of one of my jobs, is obviously like I'm pushing the buttons, and I mean everything's like timed, and all the
Mhm.
effects are in place and rigged and cued. But sometimes like you hit a couple extra buttons sometimes, or
Yep.
sometimes you like pull it back a little bit. It's to a certain degree it's a DJ board, but it's a
Oh,
visual DJ board.
that makes sense. And everything has to go off at the right time for the music to
Mhm.
blend with it and sit. That makes sense. That makes
Yeah, like for example, when Tracy passed away, he passed away actually a few months before the show, and so Matthew and I came in, did the show, and we were looking through the script, and I said, let's find, and I think quote unquote the biggest baddest cake that we had. So a cake is a single firework that has a single fuse but has multi effects.
okay.
And I was looking in the script, and the script's big. And so I was looking through the scripts, and I ended up finding this, I think it was like a 480 shot rainbow zipper. So it's one of the ones that that goes back and forth, and
Oh, I love those.
and it was rainbow colored. And
Yep.
so we all signed our name on his cake, took a big picture, and all of us, and then that was kind of our send off to him. And so I got to like say, hey, like we have this in there, but let's have this start the finale. So like I can do those small things where it's like, oh yeah, or like I want uh rockets, red glare, and bombs bursting to be specialty types of shells.
Mhm.
So I have a little bit of play on what I can do, but overall
It's
it's
scripted.
it's scripted.
Right. But that's nice. It's always fun to put your own little touch on it. And do you have any favorite type of fireworks? Is there something special that you really like?
You know what? My whole team, we always ask each other these questions, and sometimes other people in the group they'll like mines, which mines are yeah mines and strobes are kind of like the louder ones with like the shimmers.
Okay.
Um, some people like brocades that are like the loud booms that like spiky
Oh,
go
yeah.
out.
Yeah.
And my favorite are the willows, which are
Okay.
the ones that go out and then they like shimmer down like really long, like a willow.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
so
those are nice.
yeah, so those are my favorites.
Okay. And
Um,
I don't think any of us listening or watching knew that there were names for fireworks, except maybe one or two people. So we're all learning a lot. That's fascinating. I'm gonna, when I see the one that's shimmering and moving and everything, I'll think of a cake. You know?
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm gonna tell all the people who come to watch from my front yard the names of the fireworks as they go off, and they're gonna think I'm really, an intelligent person. That's such a cool thing to know. Yeah.
Absolutely, it is. It's a fun thing to know
Yeah.
because and like some of my family, they have property up at Abiquiu Lake, and
Hmm.
it's a private HOA. So every once in a while, we'll do like some small fireworks there. But they always put me in charge of what kind of fireworks to bring because when I go to a stand, like I know what the different effects are.
Right.
So
Right.
it's you got to have a firework guy. A firework guy has to, or a firework woman. There has
Yes.
to be one in every group.
No,
There has to be
that's
one in
true.
every
I
group.
know the best home fireworks show I ever saw was a neighbor who was a firefighter. And boy, they were great. And, because we were waiting too long for the city one to come on. So we started our own and it was really good, you know. So they bring a lot of joy as long as you're safe about it and careful and
Mhm.
make sure to, take care of the people who don't like noise and of course don't start any fires.
Yeah, and
Yep.
I think especially for the people that like, can't handle the noise because it's not like they don't like just like it. It's like, for example,
Oh,
like dogs or people who have PTSD, like they can go into episodes,
yes.
like it could ruin their evening and their weekend. They could do something they don't want to do, go
Yep.
into a flashback, that kind of thing, or have anxiety attacks or panic attacks. And so I think people being respectful, like people are going to shoot off fireworks, it's just how it goes. But it's like 4:30 in the morning. Like,
Yeah.
can we not, and that's more of like a courtesy thing.
No, I
It's
agree.
like, I can't, I don't know. Like I grew up actually four doors down from Siringo and Carlos Ray on Carlos Ray, like when I was a kid.
Oh yeah.
And I remember during 4th of July, you'd go on the back roads, and just walk around, and there was fireworks everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know, because you live in that neighborhood, right? Do you
I
remember
do.
that? Where it's
Oh
like
yeah.
on the sidewalk, and it's like, well, okay.
Yep. Yep.
Um, yeah, so that's my neighborhood, is my old neighborhood as well.
Yep.
I'm glad the city is going to have it there.
Yeah, that's exciting. On that note, this has been another Conversations Different. We'll be back next week. Thank you for listening to Conversations Different, hosted by me, Inez Russell Gomez, editorial page editor for the Santa Fe New Mexican. Our weekly episodes would not be possible without your support. We hope you enjoy them and keep listening. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Consider signing up for our newsletter so you never miss an episode, and while you're at it, consider subscribing to the Santa Fe New Mexican. Our podcast is available by visiting our website, santaFeNewMexican.com/podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Conversations Different with Inez Russell Gomez is produced by Matt Dalside and Ernesto Cisneros, published by the Santa Fe New Mexican, a local and independent newspaper owned by Robin Martin.